So, today we are going to do chapter 18, Swimming Golden Dawn, a biography. When Dawn Fraser first learned to swim, she could not have foreseen the tragedies which fate had in store for her. But through her own courage and determination, she won incredible success as a swimmer. So, let's see what happens. Dawn Fraser learned to swim when she was 6. Her brother John was 8 years older, and he knew that what he was doing when he let go and left her in deep water in the swimming pool. He watched her closely as she fought through the water to the edge of the pool with panicky strokes. These are the strokes. So Dawn was angry with John that day. She thought he should have carried her through the water on his back, but she was soon grateful to him. She was on her way to becoming a unique swimming champion. Unique, extraordinary. That is one in all. So Dawn Fraser was the youngest of a family of 8 children living in Balmain, an industrial suburb of Sydney, one of Australia's largest cities. On the face of it, Dawn didn't seem cut out to be a swimmer. She was asthmatic and had an allergy to chlorine. Asthmatic means an asthmatic patient. But she refused to be put off. In fact, Dawn soon found swimming a great help as she improved her breathing in the water. She became less concerned about her asthma. She spent all her spare time at the outdoor Elkington Park baths. As a child, Dawn was tall, slim, and wild. She was a determined girl, but she faced her first tragedy when she was 13 years old. Her brother John became terminally ill with leukemia. She was very close to Dawn. He had encouraged her enthusiasm for sport. As you all know, all brother sisters do like that. And Dawn had a lot in common. When Dawn died, he was only 21 years old. Keep on with the swimming, kid. He had told Dawn shortly before he died, you never know, you could finish up a champ. On the day of Dawn's death, Dawn cycled to the local pool, found a sheltered spot, and sat down and wept. She felt very lonely. Soon afterwards, she decided to give up everything she had to swimming. When she was 15, Dawn joined a coach called Harry Gallagher in Adelaide. It was a long way from home. She missed her family. She missed Sydney, but swimming made up for what she missed. She worked as a shop girl, but she ate, drank, and slept swimming. She worked hard on the rhythm of her swimming stroke and got faster and faster. That means she was very much interested in swimming. In 1955, Dawn Fraser competed in the Australian National Championships. She didn't do very well in the 10 yards freestyle, but was determined to do better in 220 yards freestyle. She set off fast and streaked ahead of the other swimmers. She will blow up soon, somebody said. But she didn't. She won the event by 7 meters in 2 minutes 29.5 seconds. This was the record, a new Australian record. The next year, she did even better in the national championships. Her main rivals were Lauren Crabb, who was younger than Dawn, but had already broken 5 world records. Lauren beat Dawn in 440 yards freestyle, but it was different because as per the record, it was different story. Over the shorter distances in front of 3,000 people, Dawn won the 110 yards freestyle by half a meter with breathtaking speed. The world record of 64.6 seconds had stood by for 20 years. Now it was 64.5 seconds and held by Dawn Fraser. So Melbourne, Australia, December 1950. 1956. Her rise to the top was just in time for the 1956 Olympics in Melbourne. They began in December during the Australian summer, but Dawn Fraser nearly missed them. She went into hospital suffering from iraqi, an eye infection, and bad headaches. This was only a few days before the Olympics. Fortunately, she recovered quickly and swam her way to the final of the 100 meters freestyle. That means she was practicing for that. She was expected to win, but the night before, the final was unforgettable. That means what happened? Dawn had a nightmare. Nightmare, sapna dekhna. The gun went off, but I had honey on my feet and it was hard to pull them away. From the starting block, I finally fought free and dived high. It seemed a long time before I hit the water, and the water wasn't water. It was what? Spaghetti. I fought with it and kept going up, down in the one place like a yo-yo. The spaghetti strands tangled and tied my feet. You know what is tangled? It is a mass of threads. That means something which is tying you. My feet and was swimming with my arms along. Of course, I fouled up the turn and took a few more fills, and I woke up gasping and fighting in a sea spaghetti. The final took place late in the evening. It meant a long, long day of waiting. Dawn had plenty of time to get nervous. She walked around the pool and got to know it. She rehearsed the race in her own mind. She imagined the waves in the pool as the swimmers ploughed through the water. She knew it would be worse in the central lanes, where she would be swimming on the bus to the pool that night. Dawn was shaking. She was nervous but excited, confident but afraid. She felt awful. I feel as though I am waiting for an execution, my own execution, she told her coach as she waited for the start. Some of the other swimmers dropped into the pool to flex their muscles. Dawn stayed on dry land, limbering up as best she could. So limbering here means to make exercise so that your muscles will be perfect for swimming. So limbering is to just be ready with the exercise. So the 8 finalists mounted their blocks. Their starter watched and waited. Silence, then the sound of the gun. The swimmers tensed their muscles and plunged forward, and the glassy stillness of the water was shattered. All Dawn's nerves disappeared as she hit the water and settled into the relaxed rhythmic swimming stroke, but Lauren Crabb had got away first. 100 meters race means 2 lengths of the pool. On the outward journey, Dawn caught Lauren Crabb, but Lauren turned faster and pushed away with a lead of a meter. Dawn swam hard. The 2 Australian girls were stroke for stroke, side by side. They stayed stroke for stroke, right to end, touching the edge virtually together. Neither knew who had won. They turned round and watched the race for third place. They saw Faith Leach get the touch for third. She was Australian too. So these are the swimmers which are doing this competition. Lauren and Dawn lay on their backs, hung onto the cork ropes and floated. Then an official came and stood by Dawn. He winked and held up one finger. She had won. Dawn and Lauren hugged each other. They couldn't speak. It looks like world record, somebody said. The time was 62.0 seconds. It makes our relay team look pretty good, said Lauren. Lauren was right. The relay team won the gold. So Dawn ended her first Olympic with 2 gold medals. That means she won 2 gold medals in this. That first gold medal would always be very special. Dawn stood on the victory rostrum. You know what is rostrum? It is a place where first, second, third, all those who compete, that means who stood first, second, third, stands there. And tears rolled down her cheeks, her hand clutching the gold medal that hung around her neck. She borrowed a ladder from a television crew and climbed up to the stand to see her mother and father in the audience. It was Dawn's race, Mom, said Dawn, thinking of the brother who taught her to swim. I won it from him. Dawn went on to win the 440 yards and 110 yards freestyle races at the 1958 Empire and Commonwealth Games. More and more records and victories came her way. However, in 1959, Dawn became ill with hepatitis, which meant a whole year away from serious swimming and competing. To form, Dawn fought her way back to fitness. At the 1960 Australian Championship, she broke an incredible 3 world records inside 45 minutes, including the 100 yards butterfly, and even Dawn was completely new too. The announcer could hardly conceal his delight. You have just seen the greatest performance by any women athlete in any sport the world has ever known. Later in the national championships, Dawn Fraser knocked 3 seconds off another world record, the 220 yards freestyle. Rome, Italy, August 1960. Let's see this what happens. In Rome at the 1960 Olympics, Dawn made history by becoming the first woman to defend an Olympic swimming title. After her swim clutching a teddy bear mascot. You know what is mascot? Mascot is a symbol. And her third gold medal, she again cried tears of joy at her success. The following year brought more tears, but this time they were tears of sadness. Dawn's father died after a long illness. Dawn had been working hard on her 100 meters freestyle speed. She wore lighter swimsuits. She had her hair cut short, but most importantly, she continually worked on the smoothness of her freestyle stroke. Gliding through the water, the magic 60-second barrier was within her grasp. Eventually, in the trials for the 1962 Empire and Commonwealth Games, she clocked at 59.9 seconds. She went on to win 4 gold medals at those games in Perth. 110 yards freestyle, 100 yards freestyle relay, the medley relay, and the 440 yards freestyle. Then came 1964, a year of tragedy, a year of glory. Dawn started the year in great form at the National Championship in February. She won the 110 yards freestyle in 58.9 seconds and 220 yards in exactly 2 minutes. She stayed in Sydney after the championship and enjoyed some time with her family. One night, Dawn went to a rugby club dinner. She drove home at about 11 o'clock in a borrowed car. Her mother and her sister were in the back seat, a friend in the front. She drove round a curve in the road at about 40 miles per hour to find a parked lorry in their path. "Look out, Dawn!" screamed her friend beside her. But it was too late. She braked, swerved, and felt the impact of the sickening crash. Dawn regained consciousness lying on the grass burger to discover that her mother and sister had been taken to hospital. Her friend was bleeding from cuts on her face. Dawn passed out again shortly afterwards. When Dawn came down again in hospital, she found out that she had a chipped vertebrae and would be laid up for months. Then came the tragic news. Her mother had died in the crash. Dawn was devastated. You know what is devastated? Devastated means extremely upset. Words cannot describe how despondent she felt in the days and weeks that followed. She had lost her mother now as well as her father and brother, and her swimming career seemed to be finished because she lost her whole family. So she was lonely now. Her neck was in a steel brace for 9 weeks while the bone began to heal. One day in autumn 1964, she put on a swimsuit and, still wearing her neck brace, walked to the swimming pool. She thought she would have a chat to some of her friends at the pool, but when she got there, she couldn't resist the water. She took off the brace and slid gently into the pool. She couldn't swim freestyle because she couldn't turn her head. That means she was unable to swim now. Instead, she swam breaststroke and it felt wonderful. Swimming had always helped Dawn to relax and she wanted to do it again. With the help of a neck massages and muscle exercises, she went back into training. She set her heart on breaking 61 seconds and getting into the Australian Olympic team. She did it. She was on her way to Japan for her third Olympics. Tokyo, Japan, October 1964. See this last event now. By now, the world scene had changed. The rising star was Sharon Stauder of the USA, but Dawn recovered enough to make the final. Surely it was asking too much of her to win for the third time, or was it? Dawn went ahead in the first length of the final, but turned slowly because she wouldn't use a tumble turn. Tumble turn means no change. She lost the lead. At 70 meters, Stauder was still with her, but Dawn was a great competitor. She wasn't someone who enjoyed racing against the clock on her own. It was competition that spurred her on to faster times. Dawn slowly pulled away and won by a meter. It was her third successive 100 meters Olympic title and her fourth gold medal. This last one was for her mother and father. Dawn moved on to politics in later life. Between 1988 and 1991, she served as an elected member of the New South Wales State Parliament. So this was the biography for this girl. So thanks for watching the video. Actually, this was just a struggle. So I think you learnt a lot from this. Okay.